Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. I can't believe it's already the end of October and Essen Spiel Fair is almost here. So I've gone through the great Board Game Geek list. Thank you Eric Martin and team there for putting this together. Over 1,000 games that will be for sale at Essen. I've gone through that list, and here's going to be my 10 most anticipated, the ones I'm most excited about. Now later this week, or actually next week probably, I'm going to be releasing a video, the top 10 games that are releasing in Essen that I've already played. And in my opinion, that's even a more tried and true list because those are ones that I've played, I've mostly already reviewed, and I've given my thumbs up for, where this one's like, hey, this looks cool, I'm excited about it, and here's why. Now, on this list, I've only placed games that are listed for sale, so you should be able to buy all of these that are there. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that below so you don't miss that other video about Essen coming out in just a few more days.
Number 10.
All right, first one on this list is called The City. This is sort of a reprinting of an older game. It's 2 to 5 player, takes 30 minutes to play. I think it was like back in 2011. This came out. It's designed by Tom Lehman, who's done a lot of really popular games. This has all new art. It's been redeveloped a little bit, and it's in English for the first time from what I know. Now this is sort of a tableau building, city building game. I love city building games where you're using cards for both currency and to build them, one or the other. And so that's always an interesting thing where you have to give up cards to do something else, and those always bring tough decisions, and I like that, so I'm hoping this does this just as well. So you're trying to simultaneously select what you want to build, everyone flips it up, and then you pay for what you want to build with other cards. But much as you might imagine in city building games, some cards play off other cards. For example, the university's worth 1 more point for each school you have in play. Or the Autobahn is worth $1 and 1 point for each car symbol you control. So there's a lot of these different sort of synergies that you're trying to build in your city. And I just love city building games. This one looks like a beautiful version of this. And this is done by Eagle Griffin Games. This will be at their booth for sale at Hall 4, H102. They're also in Hall 4, I104. And also in Hall 5, H113. There's 3 booths listed there. I'm not sure which one this will be at, so I gave you all 3.
Number 9.
This next one is sort of not a sequel, but the third in a series called Beastie Bar. This is called Beastie Bar 3, Born to be Wild. This is a 2 to 4 player card game. It's just a 20-minute game. Beastie Bar, there's 3 of them, as I just mentioned, and all of them are standalone games. This isn't an expansion. You can play it on its own, but if you have one or the other 2, you can mix and match them. So what happens is each of these Beastie Bar games comes with these great big tarot-sized cards, beautiful artwork, different animals on them, and each of these animals do something different. And what you're doing, it's called Beastie Bar because all these cards are different kind of beasts, and you're trying to get into the bar, and there's a bouncer there, and you're trying to be up to the front when there's 5 cards that end up being in line, and you get in. You're gonna get points for each of the animals you get in, but each of the animals trigger in a different way. Some of them are stronger than others, but some of them block others, some of them jump in front of others, some of them do all sorts of things, and each of them have a special ability, and it's the interaction between all those cards that makes this game so interesting. And again, you can mix and match this with the other Beastie Bars. If you're looking for one of those little sort of somewhat chaotic but fun tactical games, it has a regular version and an advanced version. Check this out because again, you can buy this on its own, but also buy the other ones and mix and match. This is from Zoc Verlag. They're in Hall 3, and they're going to be at booth J108.
Number 8.
Okay, this next one, it's a little bit of a cheat because these are 3 mini expansions for a game I love, but the game's so cheap, I want to bring this to your attention because I think this is a game that is highly underrated, and a lot of people still don't know about it. It's a 2-player trick-taking game called Claim. And there's 2 of them out there. There's Claim, and then last year I believe they came out with Claim 2. Now both of those games can be played on their own or mixed together. Now Claim, again, 2-player trick-taking game where each game has a certain amount of factions of different factions of cards, and each of those factions have a special ability that trigger when you play them. And so each of the Claims games are amazing, and when you mix them together, wow, great replayability. This section here, there's 3 mini expansions. It's called Claim Reinforcements, and there's Magic, maps, and mercenaries. And so now these, you need either Claim or Claim 2 to play them. But again, one of the reasons why I'm mentioning this is because I want you to go get Claim because it's amazing, but also get these too. The mercenaries ones has, heroes, elves, orcs, cyclops. The magic one has wizards, druids, shapeshifters. Also has artifacts and potion cards. And the maps have phoenixes, unicorns. It has some maps locations, in other words. So I bring this to your attention because it's a game that doesn't get played enough or talked about enough. It's a fantastic. Scott Alms designed this game, who's done all the Tiny Epic games. Now, at Essen, this is white. So if you like Fox in the Forest, which is a very popular two-player trick-taking game from Renegade Games, which I love, I like this one even better, just to show you how good this game is. So White Goblin Games has this at Essen. They're in Hall 3. Booth M is in Mark 118. And if you're in North America, Deep Water Games will be bringing this over because they've already brought over Claim, and I believe Claim 2 already. So check this out.
Number 7.
Number 7 is called Bus. This is sort of a heavier game from Capstone Games. This originally came out in 1999. It is a network and route building game. It's got a pick up and deliver component. It's for 3 to 5 players. Takes about 2 hours. You're trying to deliver as many people to their destinations as you can by building a network of your bus route, be able to get there. But where they go vary. They might want to go to work in the morning or the bar at night or to home. And so depending on where they want to go, you're trying to get them there, and you're going to have to sort of do different things depending on the round. Also, on some actions, like when you're expanding your route or building, the first player to choose that action will actually end up executing that action last, which leads to a lot of interesting games of sort of chicken and some painful decisions. This looks like, I like route building, I like things like that. Capstone's been on a roll lately. This is a heavier game, but it's one I'm definitely interested in from Capstone Games. They're in Hall 2. Booth C102.
Number 6.
All right, number 6. This game, I think, went through Kickstarter from what I know. It's called Aftershock, San Francisco, and Venice. This is coming to us by Stronghold Games. One of the co-designers is Alan Moon, the one who's done Ticket to Ride. Now, the world's been hit with huge mega earthquakes, and the worst destruction devastated San Francisco and the Bay Area. So essentially this game is a time of rebuilding to restore this area to its former glory. It's an area control game, 2 to 5 players, takes about an hour. You'll be spending money to acquire cards, which are used to increase population, build bridges, and determine where the aftershocks are going to occur. Now you can purchase these cards from other players in a close economy, and you'll also be secretly choosing areas that you think might score behind your shield. Seems pretty interesting. It actually has a little bit of looking a little bit like Ticket to Ride, of having different colors go from the bridges from different spots. This is going to be at the Stronghold Games booth. They're in Hall 3, booth number O107.
Number 5.
The next one is a game by Friedman Friese, one of my favorite designers. This one's called Fast Sloths. This is for 2 to 5 players. It's 45 minutes long. Essentially, you're all sloths who, of course, are lazy, but they want to have fun too, and so they're going to have different animals bring us around the board. Essentially, this is a racing game and pick up deliver, where you as a sloth is the item being picked up and delivered. So you're trying to get picked up by different animals and brought to be touching all the different trees, but each of them animals move and act differently. Also, only about half of the animals, 6 of the 12, are used each game, so there's tons of replayability, different ways to work out different puzzles in this game. So on a turn, you're basically drafting 2 or 3 cards of different animal types, and then you're basically playing all cards of one animal type to move that animal. And again, they all move in different ways, so it's going to be sort of very puzzly in that regard, but you're drafting the cards and trying to plan ahead. There's no luck in the game. You know exactly what's going on other than which cards come out, but you're saying what to do when. You're trying to get to all the trees faster than all the others. Now, it appears that this game's going to be there in 2 different versions, the sort of the German version at Youve Spiel. They're in Hall 3, booth L104. But it also looks like Stronghold Games might be having an English version as well. And they're in Hall 3, booth O107.
Number 4.
This next one, number 4, I don't know a whole lot about it. There's not a lot of info on it. It's called So You've Been Eaten. And it's called a 0 to 2 player game. Yeah, I don't know. Figure it out. It's 30 minutes. It's an asymmetrical, essentially 2-player game. One player plays as a miner who's been eaten by a beast, who's the other player. Now, the miner is going to be earning points by trying to collect crystals from inside the beast's stomach, and the beast earns points by developing immune responses and by its bacteria attacking the miner. What? What a bizarre theme, but it sounds kind of cool. The miner is going to win by instantly collecting all different 8 different crystals, and the beast wins by digesting the miner after the attack of 4 bacteria of the same type. Now, you can also play it solo as a miner player against a sleeping beast, or a beast player against a robot miner, and a game for 0 players. What? A sleeping beast against a robot miner. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds intriguing. Anyway, this looks really cool. I like asymmetric games. I like 2-player games, so this is right up my alley. This is from Luda Creations. They're going to be in Hall 1, booth D as in Dan, 129.
Number 3.
Number 3 is called Aquatica. This is for 1 to 4 players. It's 30 to 60 minutes long. Aquatica is a deep but easy to learn family engine builder about underwater kingdoms. You'll be needing to capture and buy locations, recruit new characters, and complete goals. You're going to be combining actions. You can basically build this engine. It says if you have a good strategy, you can actually take 10 actions in a row. Wow, I hope they're fast. But it has this unique mechanism of card rising, where a card is different things, and as certain things happen, that card is going to rise up on the water. Very thematic. And it's going to display different things about that card as that happens. This is brought to us by Cosmodrome Games, who did Smartphone Inc. last year, a big hit. And the art in this game just looks amazing. They're in Hall 2. They're in booth D as in Dan, 113.
Number 2.
Number 2 is also a Cosmodrome game. The one we just talked about was, and now this one is Skytopia in the Circle of Time. It's for 2 to 4 players, takes 40 to 60 minutes. This is an engine building Euro game where you're building your own city. I love city building games. I like engine building games, and the art in this looks really cool. Also, there's this unique gear where you can basically, as you manipulate this gear, you can either construct faster, but it costs more, different things like that. So there's not a whole lot of information about this out yet. Essentially, there's 2 phases. You're going to be building in a completion phase where you essentially will place buildings on your own pad. And a worker placement phase where you send that golem to the construction site. And every time you build something, you might activate some cards, which have been built earlier, giving you that engine building. Again, that's all I know about this. It looks cool. The art looks cool. That unique gear seems interesting. You know, paying more to do things faster. It just looks cool. Cosmodrome was on a roll with Smartphone Inc. and the one I just mentioned looked cool before this. So Cosmodrome Games will be in Hall 2 in booth D as in Dan, 113.
Number 1.
Okay, my number 1, I must preface this by saying the original Azul I was okay on. I was fine, it was okay. I think it got way too overhyped. It won the Spiel des Jahres, and a lot of people love the game. A lot of people love it a lot more than I do. I just think it's good. And then Azul last year, the Stained Glass Sintra came out, and it blew my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like an amazing version of Azul. That game was one of my favorite games of the year last year, and it really made me rethink Azul, and everyone I've showed it to really likes it. But here's another one, a new one. Standalone game, not an expansion, Azul's Summer Pavilion. And this looks even more interesting to me than even the Glass Sintra. It's got some new concepts, but keeps a lot of the things the same. Now the tiles are diamond-shaped. There's also Joker sort of wild tiles that you're forced to take if one's there, which could be bad or could be good depending on how many extra tiles you're going to be able to keep. The player boards, everyone has their own. They have 7 sets of colors, basically 7 big sets that you're placing those tiles on. 6 of those all have to be the same color in the same sort of area, but one of them needs to be one of each color. So some differences there. Also, each has a number of those spirals of 1 to 6. And you've got to discard that many tiles of that color to place a tile. Like if you're placing 6 onto the 6th blue spot, you've got to discard 6 tiles, at least one of them got to be blue, in order to place there. You're going to get points for that tile and each connected tile in that section. So that sounds kind of cool. Also, there's different aspects of your board. There's pillars and statues and windows, and anytime you completely surround one of those with tiles, you get to take tiles from the middle. So that will change things of the timing of the game as well, which I think is really cool. You're going to find the right time to finally surround some of those things. Also, you can carry over 4 tiles from each round, and all the end bonuses at the end of the game, you're trying to finish 7 of all one color, or 7 of all one number, like all the 1s, all the 5s, things like that. So it seems like this game has Again, uses a lot of the similar Azul mechanisms, but also adds a lot of unique twists that seem really interesting to me. And this is done by Next Move Games, but it appears they're going to be at the Plan B Games booth, which essentially is the same company. Next Move is sort of an imprint of Plan B Games. And if that holds true, Plan B Games is at Hall 3 at booth 0117. All right, well, there you have my top 10 most anticipated games at Essen. Later this week, I'm going to come out with my top 10 games I've already played that are releasing there. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that so you don't miss that. And I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games by helping you find the next one you'll love. This video was shot on a Game Topper, the ultimate gaming accessory. After successfully fulfilling their first Kickstarter, Game Toppers are taking the world by storm. Now you can get your own portable gaming top by participating in Game Toppers Kickstarter 2.0 starting June 25th, 2019. New styles, new sizes, and amazing new game mats. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to enter a full Game Topper system valued over $1,000 to also bring you to the Kickstarter project page and to late pledge.